Hi, welcome to episode 14 of Talk About the Passion. I'm your host, Christian Campagna, and this is a weekly podcast where I talk to folks about their journey through music, writing, filmmaking, whatever, creative stuff. A good chunk of these conversations so far have followed a similar path, like a timeline, and this one does as well. It's a little bit longer than most of the ones have been. It's about 90 minutes. And but I didn't expect any less from this particular guest, and so since this one is so long, I'll try to make this as quick as I can. My guest today is my friend Keith Bennett. Keith is another guest I've known for well over 30 years, and you might know him as the bass player for the defunct Boston hardcore band The Wrecking Crew, as the biggest Motorhead fan in the world, or the singer and bassist for PanzerBastard. I know when people talk about Boston hardcore, names come up like Choke, Al Baril, John Anastas, guys like that. But for me, and I think people from Boston, Keith Bennett is a name I think that should be right along all those people. I think everyone here knows him, and yeah. Anyway, if you don't know Keith, he likes to talk. He's one of the funniest people in the world, and his stories are animated and funny, and he does a lot of great impressions. And yeah, so when we initially set this up, he said, I'm an open book. You can ask me whatever, anything you want. And then when we met in person the other day to do this, he expressed that again. So I knew there were some demons I think he wanted to exercise here. And I'm glad he did. He gets into some, pretty heavy stuff in this episode. And, perfect Bennett fashion. He doesn't hold back anything. So with that said, I'll preface this episode with some pretty salty language in this episode. And some of the stuff we get into might not be for everyone, but the point of this podcast, or one of the points of this podcast, is to show folks being human, talking about things they're passionate about. And, I'd never censor anyone on here or cut anything out, unless they asked me. And there's nothing here I'd cut out either. We had a great time doing this. I always love seeing Keith, and I was glad to get him to chat with me. A couple more things. If you want to follow this podcast on social media, I get you covered here. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/TATP podcast. Twitter, TATP pod. And I'm now on Instagram at TATP podcast. And then, of course, talkaboutthepassion.podbean.com is where this thing is hosted. And, it's on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and all those fun podcast places. So also, if you or someone wants to be on here, I'd love to hear from you. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook, and we can figure something out. And, unless I have no interest in talking to you. Just kidding. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode. It's a long one, and yeah, cheers. Thanks. All right, I'm here with my friend Keith Bennett, Boston, Massachusetts, and we've known each other for 30-something years now.
35 years, man.
35 years, probably.
Close to 30. Close to 35.
Close to 35.
Yeah.
And where did you exactly grow up?
I grew up exactly on the same block on Beacon Street, like right down. If you left Kenmore, if you took left out of Nemo's or the Pizza Pad and kept walking down Beacon, past Father's 2, then there was one block that had like a pizza joint, Chinese joint, Brigham's, Five and Dime, the market, pharmacy, the rug store. Yeah. The very next, like the first block after Carlton. Yeah. When I was born, and so I lived 3 places on the same block until I was 12. Yeah. I lived at 1070, building went up for condo.
Yeah.
And in like a rare flash of compassion, the realty company, whoever owned the buildings at the time, they owned the whole block.
Yeah.
And they, for their tenants that weren't going to buy their units, they were like, listen, we'd still have to have you rent.
Yeah.
Can we put you somewhere? So growing up, I went 1070, 1090, 1100.
Yeah.
So when I was like right around when I turned 12, my uncle, who basically raised me, he's for all intents and purposes my father.
Okay.
So back up, when we lived at 1070, it was me, my mom, my uncle, and my nana.
Okay.
My nana passed away. My uncle got married. Then we moved to 1090. Then we moved to 1100. It was just me and my mom.
Yeah. When
1100 went up, at that point, my uncle had started to do very well for himself.
Yeah.
And he was just like, you know what? This is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
I can't see you guys keep getting bounced.
Right.
He bought a place way the fuck up.
Yeah.
So and that's where my mom is now, and I moved back there 3 years ago because my mom's not good.
Right.
So I got karma.
Yeah.
She took care of me.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. I got to take care. So
Yeah.
when I was just turning 12, my uncle bought a place for us at 1795, and it's like legit smack dab between Washington Square and Cleveland Circle, and it's the only place in Brookline and on Beacon Street. We got churches on the top of both blocks, and one church looks like the church from Witchfinder General, Friends of Hell, and the second church looks like something from a Cathedral video.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
It's
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, the mean streets of Brookline. It's pretty easy to be the toughest kid in Village Corner. You know?
So this uncle, this was your mother's brother, I take it.
Yeah.
So your dad was out of the picture completely.
Well, that guy came in my mother. He like, I'm not even gonna give him the fucking time of day to be my dad. He's a fucking cunt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So your uncle, was he a music guy? Did he influence you at all?
No. And the weird thing with that is he honestly is, if anybody listening like knows my deal, I'll just say this: he's more of a hero to me than Lemmy.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just a really a fine human being. He's an honorable guy. He's a self-made dude.
Yeah.
He instilled a love of literature, a love of reading, a love of history. It just his use of language.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll give you a bit that say it's like, you know, it's part of like if you got that Celtic strain in your blood.
Yeah.
But there's also just some stuff where it's just like you see these one of a kind people in life, and I'm lucky enough that one of those people happens to be
part of your
my
life.
uncle.
Yeah.
He's just an amazing guy.
And he's still alive.
Thank fuck he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even want to think about when he's gonna go, because he's my right hand.
Yeah.
I love him a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did you get into music early on?
I honestly, like, it just kind of was.
Yeah.
Like the earliest things I remember is I couldn't even tell you an age, like, because I don't want to like act like I'm trying way too hard and say I was one, and you know I finger picked Smoke on the Water,
right?
But you know, my mom was a frustrated actress. My nana she played piano. She was like, we never had a piano in my house. This is something I learned like after the fact, but she was always singing, like, and you know, going back to like the Irish thing, like there's the gift of gab, and there is like a love of music, and in my house, like, there to this day, like there's like these weird, not weird, but just like really obscure, like old songs that like, even though I'm old now, like somebody like I should have never known these songs at all, let alone know them word for word. But my whole family, like it was like Broadway and like right before rock and roll happened. Like my family was too conservative for rock and roll.
Right.
Like they were like when Elvis was happening, they were listening to like Jim Reeves.
Yeah.
And they were like Pat Boone people. They weren't like Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like like not only do I know like Chuck Berry, I know weird, like, you know, like Nelson Eddy,
right?
You know, shit like that, like
random.
Yeah. So and some of my early memories of when I was a little kid is that on Sundays, it was like religious that the Lawrence Welk show.
Oh yeah,
we would be on.
Yeah.
You know, and there'd be like Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Yeah.
Lawrence Welk show, and then Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Or Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah, and they'd show those movies.
Right. Yeah, and it just. And these things are ingrained in my, like, dude, honestly, when I'm walking down the street, like I'll get this melody in my head, and it's straight up from Lawrence Welk, like, you know, like Myron Florin and Norma Zimmer, the Champagne Lady, shit like that. Then, it was just the Monkees.
Yeah.
I didn't know that wasn't real.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Then there was like the Osmonds because they had the cartoon thing. The Jacksons.
Yeah.
Then it was completely by mistake. Like I was not hip.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still not hip, you know, but I wasn't a cool 7-year-old.
Right.
But the day that everything changed and kind of like made me who I am was when I was 7. I was with my grand aunts. It was my Nana's sisters.
Yeah.
And normally my mom would take me, like, you know, when I'd go with her, like downtown crossing the Filene's and Jordans.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, I'd get a toy. Well, no.
Oh, that's
this
way,
was way
way
before.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Well, you know, not way, but like 5-6 years before. But still, that's a lifetime when you're 7.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any like music records. I didn't have, you know, I knew what rock and roll was, but I didn't have any. Yeah. But I had the storybook records. Mm-hmm. Remember, you know, like it was almost like radio theater, but it was on vinyl.
Yeah, you'd
right, and then you'd have like the comic book come in, and you'd hear like, and then the door opened, beep, and the beep would be like you turn your page. Yeah. So this actually is one of the first times it was my grand aunt Esther, who was a retired teacher from Southie. Yeah, she was looking in hindsight, she was a very lovely lady. In the moment, she was terrifying. So my mom had given her like $5.
Yeah.
Like, this is $5. Keith can get a toy or he can get a record.
Right.
And I wanted a storybook record. And it wasn't like some bratty thing. Like, I want a story. It was just like, well, okay, honey, you know, like, let's go.
Yeah.
And she, you know, just being how she was raised, we were in the Hanover Mall because they lived down in Scituate. We're in the Hanover Mall. For her to go into a record store in the fucking 70s, it might have been akin to just like fucking a goat,
right?
You know, and burning the Bible. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So she gives me, like, I'm 7. Yeah. She hands me this money. It might have been the first time I had more than a quarter in my fucking hand, and she's like, "Okay, go."
Yeah.
But she was also, you know, a bit abrupt. She was a brash woman, so it was like, I've got X amount of time.
Yeah.
And I walk in there, and I didn't know how record stores worked. And I'm like, you know, and like I said, like, I wasn't looking for rock and roll. I wanted, you know, a storybook record.
Right.
And so number one, I'm overwhelmed. I'm terrified. Then the grand aunt that I'm scared of is, you know, 4 inches from the front of the place, tapping her foot, screaming like, "Keith, Edward, Leo, Kirby, Bennett, you have 2 minutes. If you're not, then we're just going to go." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't go without."
Right.
And I'm panicking. I'm looking around. I guess Rock and Roll Over by Kiss must have just come out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know record stores were alphabetical or anything. I'm like looking around, I'm like, what the fuck? And I saw a display.
Yeah.
You're 7. You look at a Kiss record.
Oh, yeah.
They're superheroes.
Yeah.
I just grabbed it.
Yeah.
And I paid for it. And then we left. In the car, going home, pull it out of the bag. And I'm like, I thought it was like werewolves or vampires.
Yeah.
I open up. I'm like, Kiss Rock and Roll. What? I can't even say what the fuck because I didn't even know what fuck was. But I'm like, you know, oh.
Yeah. What is this?
Look at it. Then I flip it over. And I'm like, well, they must explain the story on the back. And I'm like, Making Love, Ladies Room, Baby Driver,
Hard Luck Woman,
Hard Luck Woman, Dr. Love. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know. Then I get home. So the first rock and roll song I ever heard in my fucking life is like song one side one. In the morning I raise my head and I'm thinking of days gone by and the thing I want out of life is da 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 da. You know, like first I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice, like the Beatles, and then all of a sudden you could hear the horns pop out of my fucking skull. I'm like, holy shit! Fast fast forward a week, I'm back in Boston, like Brookline, and I was already hooked.
Yeah.
I was using my grandmother's knitting needles. I was sitting on the coffee table using the couch we're sitting on right now.
Yeah.
So coffee table's here. It had a marble top.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on there. I'm using my grandmother's knitting needles, and I'm using the couch as Peter Chris's drum set. And I didn't even have a real record player. I had a Peter Pan, like the plastic one that popped up, and the scene came out. So my uncle, this is before he got married, he was living with us. He comes home, and he comes in and he hears like the rock music, and then like he's like fat little ginger kid, like, and I'm like, and I don't know what I'm singing. I'm like, put your hands in my pocket, grab onto my rocket. He came up, he grabbed me, carried me into my room, threw me on my bed, slammed the door. Then all he hears was like, John, what are you doing? I don't know what the son of a bitch. And then you hear and smash, shatter. He fucking snapped the Kiss record over his fucking knee. To my mother is crazy, and she's kind of evil. To my mother's credit, 2 days later, she came into my room. She's like, do not tell your uncle. She had a brand new copy of rock and roll over for me, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is so every episode of this podcast, Kiss has been brought up. It's kind of funny.
Well, good, yeah, because you know we're not fucking cunts.
Right. So where did you end up going from there? You can say whatever you want.
Oh, sure, man. Well, my first two records were by mistake.
Yeah.
But they were like happy mistakes.
Yeah.
My second record was Black Sabbath.
Oh, nice.
We sold our souls for rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it was, sorry, vodka happens. There's a shot, Keith Bennett drinking. It wasn't with Grand Aunt Esther.
Right.
Or as we say in the Irish Riviera, Grand Aunt Esther. It wasn't with Grand Aunt Esther. But it was the same kind of deal where like my mom, like actually I remember this exactly. We were at Jordan's downtown Crossing, and I was at that. I think I had been in record stores, like I got in like the bite,
right?
But like I couldn't buy anything because you know you can only buy every once in a while.
Yeah,
this was the next time I could do it.
Yeah,
and they had this like code, a pricing code.
Yeah.
It was like A through F maybe.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean? And you know, and I'm like,
yeah.
well, I've got. I think I had a $5.
Yeah,
which was probably like $20 back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
You know, not bad.
Yeah.
Advantage me, but it was one of those things where I was like looking, but I still didn't know that.
Everything was
alphabetical.
Yeah.
I still didn't know. I'm like looking around, I'm like, well, where? I had to know if there was like signs. So this is cool, or like here's the rock, fatty.
Yeah.
But this time it was my mom. But she wasn't outside. She's right over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Going, Keith Edward, Leo Kirby Bennett. You know, oh fuck, here we are again. And I panicked, and I'm looking around, and all I saw was, if anybody listening knows the cover of that record, the S.
Yeah.
It's not like the SS like Kiss.
Right.
But you know, when you're
similar.
7 and you're in a fucking panic, you're like, I think that's a Kiss record.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's C.
Yeah.
Well, I can buy this and have change for a fucking candy bar.
Yeah,
and I grabbed that. So then we weren't even driving home. It was downtown Crossing. We get Park Street, get the Green Line, we get the C line all the way home.
Yeah.
I pull it out. I'm like, oh, I got another Kiss record. Black Sabbath. What is this?
Yeah.
Look at the back. And then I'm looking at those like song titles. I'm like, Children of the Grave. What? War Pigs. This is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Take the fucking shrink wrap off.
That fucking picture.
Open up the gatefold. The dead woman in the plexiglass coffin with a neon cross. I was terrified. I shut it.
My brother had that album, and I've talked about it before. That picture, it still creeps me out.
Yeah.
It's just fucking creepy.
And then the thing was, it was like, get home.
Yeah.
First song on side one is Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And okay. This part of my life is parallel with the music and the rock.
Yeah.
Was I loved war and I loved horror.
Yeah.
So I was raised on Creature double feature.
Yeah.
And you know, like the World War II movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I probably at that time, like, I loved vampires and werewolves more than I even knew what rock. I didn't know about rock and roll. I knew there was Kiss.
Right.
I thought it was like there was the Monkees, Kiss, the Osmonds, Jackson 5, Lawrence Welk, and then I don't know what else. And then then there was like war movies where the good guys always win, and Creature double feature.
Yeah.
Put this fucking record on, and you hear the rain and the bells,
and
then just the lyrics and the sound,
like
holy fucking shit. I would get so scared because the last song on the side of that record was Children of the Grave. I was so scared of that record, but I the thing was I loved the fucking music. So what I would do I would hold the record super tight in my hand so the gatefold wouldn't open.
Right.
When I would pull out a record, because like if I saw the girl in the coffin, I couldn't sleep that night. Then I would look at the grooves in the vinyl, and I would try to judge to drop the needle after the rain and the bells, because that would scare me. Then I would jump up off my bed. I'd be listening to Black Sabbath, reading like Tomb of Dracula, or like Tales of Mystery, like all like the good DC comics. I'd be reading like horror comics, listen to this shit. But then I would jump off the bed and run over to the Peter Pan stereo to lift the needle off before the Children of the Grave, because that would fucking terrify me too.
I know.
So there was that. Then for a long time, it wasn't a dry spell. It was just like I was raised in the 70s, man. I was obsessed with Kiss. I got Cheap Trick Live at Budokan. And I had the night that I got that record. I couldn't get to sleep, and I had the light on in my room. My mom opened there. She's like, go to bed. I'm like, I can't sleep. What's wrong? Can I talk to you? Sure. She comes in. I was like, keep in mind, my whole room by this point was like, if people have seen Detroit Rock City, that was my room. Like that opening scene. It was like everywhere was Kiss. So my mom sits down. She said, "What's wrong, honey?" I'm like, I got that record today. Well, yeah. I mean, what's wrong? Don't you like? No, that's the thing. I really like it. Well, why is that wrong? I'm like, do you think if Kiss found out that I like another band besides Kiss, that I wouldn't be in the Kiss army? Honey, I think you're okay. Like I had trauma that I liked, because the thing is, like, I didn't even consider Black Sabbath a band.
Right.
I honestly thought Black Sabbath was like a horror musical, like Hammer Horror.
Yeah, there's no pictures of them on that record or anything. It was very mysterious.
But Cheap Trick were like, a rock band.
Right.
And I had this existential crisis that I was betraying Kiss because I liked another fucking band.
Fast forward to that fucking that interview a couple weeks ago they showed with Gene, and Paul made that guy change his,
dude,
it's almost the same kind of thing. They're like, that's
I got a bunch of tattoos I regret, but I can say I'm really fucking glad. At one point I was going to get a Gene Simmons tattoo, and I'm fucking so glad I never did, because
he's definitely
there's Kiss, and then there's
Gene Simmons.
Them. He's not cool. Like for a long time I thought he was like, well, he's an asshole and he doesn't.
Right,
he's like, no, man, you are not a good person.
Yeah, no, he
not.
isn't.
Yeah.
So Sabbath, did that eventually? Then did you end up like exploring them more after that? Right after that,
absolutely.
And then it was
so my second wave, or whatever you want to, for Sabbath, was at Fat Camp.
Oh yeah.
I was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And they sent me out to the Berkshires to a Fat Camp.
Yeah.
And dude wasn't a counselor in my cabin, but he was, in the camp.
Yeah.
Dude named, I've actually tried to look for him on Facebook, because just to like say, hey man, thank you, because look what happened.
Right.
Yeah, thank you so much. This dude named Dave Eidelberg.
Yeah.
And he had a Les Paul.
Yeah.
He was a Judas Priest fanatic.
Yeah.
And he loved Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
at that point, like I had also, because a little backup, part 9 or whatever. In the summertime, I would go down to my grandaunt's, Grandaunt Esther, Grandaunt Marie lived in Scituate, and so did my cousins also lived in the same town as part of the Irish Riviera.
Yeah.
And what my mom would do in the summertime, I would spend a week in the city with my mom, 2 weeks in Scituate, a week in the city, 2 weeks down there.
Right.
And down in Scituate there was no middle ground. You were either like, you were the part where you were like the Irish white trash, and you were with the Portuguese, all the Portuguese, the Portuguese, and the fucking the leprechauns. Or then you were like these wannabe Kennedy types, like down right by the shore.
Yeah.
We weren't down by the shore.
Right.
We were part of like the Southie flight, like my family, not me.
Yeah.
But the kids that I would spend the summer with, like I honestly do think, and not in like some like madball biohazard, like, oh, they're all dead or in jail. They're all dead or in jail.
Yeah.
They had Camaros. Like I'm like, are you eating black jelly beans? No, these are black beauties. What's that? You don't want any fatty. I'm like, okay. Like shit like that. Like these people like loved Foghat, Zeppelin, Yes.
Yeah.
Pat Travers band, like all so like like I grew up playing this. But so I had like survival, because I was the Summer City kid and I was fat and I was a ginger and I liked Kiss.
Right.
I had to make some friends real fast, but I actually did like this music.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like, so I liked all like the work boot Joe Dirt shit.
Yeah.
So I showed up the first day of Fat Camp. I had a Led Zeppelin baseball jersey, like the Led Zeppelin US 77. Yeah. That classic, like with the Icarus with his donger hanging out. Yeah. I had one of those, and they were like, so obviously these counselors were probably like 19. So it's like, whatever. It's like I got to get my parents off my back. Yeah, I'm gonna work at this Fat Camp. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's I'm just gonna bring my guitar. And the first day I'm there, I'm like, see this like fat looking at a Zeppelin shirt. They're like, do you like Led Zeppelin? Yeah. What else do you like? I like Kiss, Cheap Trick, AC/DC, Foghat. Like, really? Yeah. What song? But like, I wasn't even trying to be cool. Like, I just like knew.
Right.
So for whatever reason, I became like the counselor's mascot. Yeah. And I would like, they would let me hang out with them. Right. And I'd like watch this guy play fucking guitar. Like he knew every Judas Priest song. Yeah. That's how I got it. I knew of Judas Priest, but I never heard him. Okay. I got into Judas Priest through Dave Eidelberg. Yeah. I was there for 2 months. 3 weeks in, the Black and Blue tour. Oh yeah. Came we were right across from New York. We're out that far out in the Berkshires. And they were like, listen, man, we have a ticket for you. Yeah. Like if you can't go, okay. But ask your parents if you can go, because we have a ticket for you for the Black Sabbath Blue Oyster Cult show. Yeah. Really? Like, yeah. Ask my parents, they're like, yeah. And then they even sent like $20 to Dave Eidelberg. So this is for so Keith can get a snack and a shirt. Right. And that was the show. It was outdoors. Yeah. We found out like the next day. My parents called in a panic because they had heard on the fucking news in Boston somebody was killed at the show. Really? Somebody got beaten to death. Yeah. So I saw Black Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult at Fat Camp. Really?
So was that your first concert ever?
No, dude. My first concert, my mom took me to. Yeah. It was in Providence because Kiss was banned from Boston because of like by the time that they were, Kiss had played Boston without headlining. They had played the Orpheum Boston Opera House. Mm-hmm. But by the time they got headlining status and their show was so huge, like because of Coconut Grove, there was the Fire Band. Yeah. But they played Providence. My mom took me to see them on the Love Gun tour.
Oh, nice! I saw them on that tour too.
Dude, we went down on the Greyhound bus. And we stayed at the Holiday Inn right next to the Civic Center. And the thing is, like after the show, we're walking back, and there was a ring of police like all around the thing. And my mother was like concerned. She's like, "What happened? Was there a crime?" And one of the cops was like, "Nah, those fucking faggots are staying here." and my mother's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, those idiots who just played. And she's like, Kiss? And that's all. I'm like, Kiss are staying here? That was the first time in my life that I stayed up all night because my mom was like, honey, go to bed. I'm like, they might be right above us. I know. I don't know. Yeah,
Gene
no,
Simmons is molesting a woman right above us. Yeah.
it's Gene Simmons from Kiss. And the thing is, Paul Stanley was just, I knew what was going on with Gene, but Gene is his own person. And that's neither here nor there for me to say. But yeah, Kiss was my first show. Black Sabbath was my second.
Yeah.
And then my uncle, who hated rock and roll, took me to see ZZ Top on the El Loco tour at the Garden. And Loverboy was the opening act.
Shit.
And to this day, he talks about the Loverboy drum solo. It's the greatest thing he's ever seen. Because he liked big band music, and the guy did like some like Gene Krupa,
Right. Yeah.
buddy guy kind of shit.
Right. So metal started. So Judas Priest and all that stuff. So you start to dive headlong into that stuff.
I did, but the thing was, it wasn't something where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get into metal.
Right.
Metal kind of happened like with me. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Where it was like, I started buying Circus, Cream, Hit Parader.
Yeah.
And you'd start to see stuff because I liked everything. I mean, like I didn't have a filter. It was just like what I liked, which looking back, it was like I kind of missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
But then you start to see little things like what's a Motorhead? Right. What's an Iron Maiden?
Yeah.
Saxon? They spelled the name of that video game wrong. you know what I mean? Like, and then you'd be like, oh, shit. And then there was like, there was hard rock.
Yeah.
And there was heavy.
Yeah.
Then there was heavy metal. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I already like this because all the bands they say are heavy metal, like those are all the bands I have records of. So, okay, I guess I'm heavy metal. And it was natural. And then also there was being really fortunate enough to live. I lived a BMX bike ride away from Kenmore Square.
Right.
And then after that, it was like, Newbury like when there in my day when there was one Newbury Comics and they actually sold comics, but there was all
that one on Newbury Street.
and you would ERS, ZBC, BUR, like all these stations were like we didn't even know how good we had it.
I know. Huh?
It's all this amazing shit where it was right there. Like if you had an inkling of wanting to like kind of just go a little deeper than FM radio, it was right fucking there. Which like that only happened in Boston, New York, LA, and San Francisco. That was fucking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and looking back, it's like we were lucky as hell, man.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we'll get to that. It's a little later on, but sort of them when metal and punk sort of started becoming. So Motorhead is, if anyone listening knows Keith, you obviously know Motorhead's your band, and sadly we lost the last original member last week. So when did that start? Did you hear them and just immediately, or was that something?
I heard them immediately, but it was probably within 2 months. Of knowing who they were and then hearing them. Because it was a couple of ads probably in Cream or Cream or Circus. Actually, it's probably Cream because Cream was the hippest.
They were more,
They were way more hip.
Yeah.
And Motorhead was on Polygram in the States, so it had to have been Cream.
Definitely.
And it was for Ace of Spades. I hadn't bought I didn't buy it or anything like that. Then Ozzy, his first tour, and Randy was playing guitar, played the Orpheum.
Okay.
Motorhead was the opening act.
Yeah.
I had heard of Motorhead. I didn't know fuck all about them except that picture, and they kind of looked like ZZ Top.
Right.
Yeah. When they came out, I thought they were the roadies.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like I really did. Like because to me, I was what 12. That like bands weren't scary. Bands weren't dirty. And if bands were scary, it was like Gene Simmons scary.
Right,
it was obviously
calculated.
pantomime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I thought these badass bikers. Well, these are like the carnies who set up.
Right.
This is. But when they walked out, they picked up the instruments, and I thought they were going to tune them.
Yeah.
Like the other roadies I had seen.
Right.
But then they played it. They opened with Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck if you want to talk all the shit you want about Keith, whatever.
Right.
I'm telling you, within 30 seconds, I knew exactly who I wanted to be. I knew exactly what I wanted in my fucking life. I can never fully convey how much that band, right now talking to you, how much that band means to me.
Yeah, definitely.
That just, I hope everybody, it doesn't have to be Motorhead. I hope everybody who's listening to this feels that way about something in their fucking life.
Yeah.
Because it absolutely it's Motorhead saved my fucking life.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It's gotten me through so much shit, dude.
Yeah. Did you, you must have met Lemmy in your time.
Yeah. I would like to think that he would know me by sight.
Right.
Like a couple of times he did.
Yeah.
A couple of times he didn't.
Right.
But it doesn't matter, man.
Right,
Because there's people who never got to meet. Dude, I got to meet Lemmy a bunch of times. I got a picture taken with Lemmy and like smoking hot chick upstairs at Access topless.
Right.
I got to play Lemmy's fucking bass for soundcheck once.
Really? Oh,
yeah, man. Like I'm a blessed motherfucker.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, but that guy. One thing is actually it was the same show. It was when I was working as a stagehand. The same show I got to sound check his bass.
Yeah.
Like full volume through the rig.
Yeah.
I had made a point to bring him a book,
right.
and it was Collector's Guide to the SS.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it to him. He's like, he's cool. He was Lemmy,
yeah.
And we're just hanging out. And right before I left, I was like, "Hey man, thanks. I just want to give you that. I got to go back to work."
Right.
Puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Listen, you don't believe that bullshit, do you?"
Right.
And at the time, I kind of did.
Right.
But that kind of helped shame me out of it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I lied to Lemmy.
Right.
I was like, no man, fuck that shit.
Right.
And he's like, good man.
Yeah.
And just walking away, I was like, dude, you just lied to Lemmy.
Yeah.
You might want to pull your head out of your fucking ass, because if it's not cool with Lemmy, it's not fucking cool. I should have known it was not cool anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So when did you start playing music?
There's a strong argument that I still haven't.
Yeah.
have you heard PanzerBastard? I started fucking around like when I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
One of the Portuguese from across the street from Nana's house. he gave me a mandolin.
Yeah.
And I proceeded to shred my thumb. I was just, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
But because they had seen me in the yard with a tennis racket.
Right.
Tennis racket and like an AM radio, like listening to like WRKO, and like they were
right.
like, "Don't go breaking my heart," or something like that. But they were like, "Oh, that's sad. That little fat gringo kid needs something." It's like, "Hey, Jose, give him the mandolin." It's like, "All right, this should be funny." So then, what was the first thing I got? First thing I got was one of those Ovation acoustics, the plastic.
Yeah,
it was like the rounded back plastic.
Yeah.
I got that when I was 12.
Yeah.
And I still didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
It was this weird thing. Like my uncle and my mom and my uncle were both very supportive.
Yeah.
But my uncle was very big. My uncle wanted me to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
He still thinks this is a phase. I'm 48 and he still thinks it's a phase.
Yeah.
But he actually bought me the acoustic. He wouldn't buy me an electric.
Yeah.
Because an acoustic, there was still hope that I could be civilized.
Yeah.
The electric, it's just like you're going to end up with a face tattoo and a nose ring.
Right.
So, and I was still just like, it was a prop.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, I didn't even bother to try and learn. Like I had a guitar to play air guitar with.
Yeah.
Then when I was 12, I was already 12 was really when there was like that line of demarcation where it's like, okay, you can enjoy music or like rock and roll is going to fucking like, are you a rocker?
Right.
And
right.
As corny as it sounds, I was like, you know what, man? I was being groomed to be a lawyer. I was being groomed to be a pro hockey player.
Right.
Oh shit. And I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
This is, I know some people like, people are like, oh, this guy's never grown up. It's like, maybe you want to look at it that you still don't know who the fuck you
Right.
are. I knew exactly who I wanted to be when I was 12.
Yeah.
And you're jealous, so suck my dick.
Well, the first time I saw PanzerBastard was that I Hate God show in Revere, Wonderland, where Robin.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Thanks, Robin. Stay cool.
Yeah. But I remember I hadn't heard you guys yet, and I said, this is the exact band that Keith Bennett needs to have, because it just sounded like you. Like it was very...
Thanks, man. Dude, Glenn and John from Wrecking Crew said the same thing.
Yeah,
the first time that they saw us, like they were with my girlfriend at the time, and they were like, this... Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this is like Motorhead, Celtic Frost, like just... It's Keith, yeah.
It's like, what do you guys sound like? You sound like Denim
Keith.
Jacket.
Yeah. But so then did you end up getting an electric guitar?
Yeah. So with that was I had already like, because I mean I had been raised like hardcore Boston Irish Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, when you shoot back, like this is what happens when when you push too hard, like you push back and you become me. CCD, I was an altar boy.
Yeah.
I went to parochial school,
Yeah.
you know, but I was already done with it. Like, you know, and everybody knew, but it was, but you got, dude, you got it. You can't not. Yeah, listen, you can't not. You have to have your confirmation. If you're not having your confirmation, what are we gonna say? Are you for real? But the thing is, like, I blackmailed him. I was like, if I will get confirmed if you buy me an electric guitar.
Yeah.
And like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I've already got $20 down on a Flying V at this place that was up the street.
Yeah.
Right off of Com Ave.
Mm-hmm.
Right up by like Com Ave in Washington. It's a place called Z Music Labs. Mm-hmm. And it was a court. It was, you know, it was kind of like an entry level thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know where I had $20, but I would go in there and like just look at shit and like stare, you know. And they were very, looking back, I know they were very cool with me. Like, you know, like, oh, this poor little fat fuck. It's like, yeah, this is sad. He's like, oh yeah, I'll probably come back tomorrow and pick that up. I was like, you're not coming. All right, chubby. All right, here you go. But I had already had the money down. Yeah. And I was like, what? I'm like, listen, here's the deal. I'll do it. I'll go through with this bullshit. Guitar is $125. Yeah. All you need to do is pay $105 on it. It's mine. You're like, so I did it. Yeah. Like I saw the picture. It's like just starting to grow my hair out. It's feathered like the hockey hair. And I'm with Cardinal Medeiros, and both of us look like we don't want to be there. Right. It's pretty good. Nice. Yeah. But that's when I first started to actually, like, you know, I want to play. I don't want to play air guitar. I want to play guitar. Yeah.
And then bass, you switched to at some point. Yeah.
Well, bass was straight up, like, going back again, like as cliche as it sounds, it was because of Lemmy. It was this is like every time, like, you know, I'd hear the beginning of Ace of Spades. It's like, you can put anything on, and it's like, I love music, I love all instruments, but it really is like you hear the beginning of that, and it's maybe not for everybody, but for me, it's just every time I hear that till the fucking day I die. Yeah. It's this call to arms. It's this just fire through my fucking body. It's like I'm like, this is my heart. This is what I was supposed to do, and I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. Did Motorhead open you up to punk and stuff?
No. Being growing up where I grew up opened me up to punk. Yeah, because I was lucky. It was this blessing and a curse being like, I couldn't win because, like, I went to a private school because my uncle did well. Yeah. Like, I'm never gonna say I was poor. Yeah. But me and my mom on our own, I wouldn't have had majority of the opportunities that I ended up having. That was through my uncle and his hard work. Yeah. I went to a private school, and I was the poor kid. Yeah. And nobody liked me. Right. But then I'd get dropped off, and I wore a suit and tie every day from first grade to eighth grade, and I'd get dropped off. I was the only kid in my neighborhood who didn't go to public school. you know. And okay, bad enough. I'm like in their eyes, like I'm the rich kid in the suit and tie.
Yeah.
I'm the rich kid in the suit and tie who was fat. He was a fucking ginger, and he liked Kiss.
Right.
I was like, I got the
3
shit.
strikes,
I got beaten up in the morning. I got beaten up all day. Then I got beaten up in the afternoon. I got beaten up at night. It fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So I didn't have friends, and my friends were Creature Double Feature. My friends were movies. My friends were the Three Stooges. My friends were Bugs Bunny. Yeah. Then my friends were Cream. My friends were Lester Bangs and Grail Marcus and Jay Kordosh and Robert Christgau.
Oh yeah.
You know, my friends were Circus, Mad Magazine, and Cracked.
Yeah.
My friends were my BMX bikes.
Yeah.
And I would ride my bike up, and I like every couple of months I'd get a little braver and go 1 block further up, and then like finally like I went up over the hill past Father's, and it's Kenmore Square, and it was like that's like, you know, like that scene in The Wizard of Oz, like step into the light, step in that for real, man. Like, and you couldn't have timed it better, because like you know, it's this flat surface, and then you start going up this hill, and there's fucking nothing. All the big city disappeared, and you're like, what the fuck? Where am I going? Where am I going? Oh, this is so hard. I'm running out of breath. And then you get to the top, and what do you see? You see this whole new fucking world, man. It's like, and that, like, I saw the block where everything important happened in my life. Like all of, like, dude, my first band, my first show, my first kiss, my first fight. Yeah. You know, like all happened on this fucking block, man. That's fucking huge, dude. Yeah. But I fell into punk rock. I didn't even know about punk. I wasn't searching for it. It was just it was this natural progression in my life where there were two free magazines in Boston. There was Sweet Potato and Boston Rock. Yeah, Boston Rock. And I would pick those up because my mom worked in advertising. She worked at the Park Square building down right by the Arlington T stop. Right. And right, like across the street and a block down was Walker's Western Wear. Yeah. Which is where all like the punk rockers, like that was before there was a Hubba Hubba, Hootenanny, Hot Topic. That was the place, like where you would buy your black jeans, your spikes, your engineer boots. Right. And I would go in like some days, like after school, like the bus would drop me off, and like mom would be like, hey, I'll leave $2, get on the subway, come meet me, and we'll meet me at the office, and we'll have dinner, and then we'll come back. And those subway rides, sometimes you'd see, like, I remember the first punk rocker I ever saw was a girl with a purple mohawk, and she had like 3 or 4 different Buzzcocks badges. Yeah. I'm like, what's this? What's this? Second punk rocker I ever saw was, I didn't know it was the Rat, because the sign outside was the Ratskeller. Right. And I didn't even have a lock for my bike, but I had put my bike up against the side of Pizza Pad. Right. Because I knew the video games, so I played the video games, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep walking. So I walked like the 15 feet. Yeah. And see somebody like just walk, like didn't hit me, but like was like walking by me, and I looked back, and he had like, you know, like a mod parka on. Right. Might have been actually, you know, he was a skinhead. Yeah. Because what I'm going to say next. Right. He had the mod parka on, you know, combat, probably Docs, but you know, his boots. I'm like, whoa, oh shit, that's like the Buzzcocks girl. Back of his jacket, he had, and it was probably in whiteout, it said "Oi, oi, oi." Yeah. I thought for whatever reason, I knew this. Curly never said "Oi, oi, oi," right? But I thought he was like an idiot and like got yuck wrong. Yeah. I really did. Right. But like that was my second punk rocker. But when I would visit my mom, there was a back in the 70s and the early 80s, there were like iron-on t-shirt stores. Oh yeah, I remember. And like they would also sell, like there'd be head shops. Yeah. They'd iron-ons, bongs, and then buttons. Right. And there's a place called Tickle. Yeah. And I got my first non-iron-on shirt there. It was Aerosmith Toys in the Attic tour, but it was silk screened. Yeah. I didn't know what the deal was with silk screening. I thought it was painted on. Yeah. And I never washed it because I thought that if I washed it, the paint would wash off. Right. But they would have like Sweet Potato and Boston Rock. Yeah. Were these free, like I think Sweet Potato was monthly and Boston Rock was weekly,
Right.
but they were free
Yeah.
at the counter.
Yeah.
And like every time I would go visit my mom, I'd be like, once I knew about this place Tickle, I'd be like, oh mom, can I get a butt? Can I go over to Tickle and get a button?
Yeah.
Okay, don't get anything crass.
Right.
You know. But then I go over there and I grab Sweet Potato and Boston Rock. But
Right.
those were the magazines where I found out about like local bands.
Right.
And the underground. Like it was all like everything was all like these bands like could have been like La Peste was as big and as untouchable as Led Zeppelin to me because it was all like this world I didn't know. You know what I mean? There was no
Right.
there was no difference to me. It was all like this world that I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know any difference between I wasn't that cultured or cool.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that there was a difference between like punk, rock,
Yeah.
heavy metal,
Yeah,
underground. It was because I didn't know any of it. Like
Yeah,
I'd seen two concerts,
Yeah.
and they were in these enormous places that weren't even in the city that I lived in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we were at sort of a lucky period too in Boston when
Fucking so lucky.
and because we're both the same exact age when hardcore and metal sort of started coming together, and that's sort of when I met you, and I remember being sort of happy because I was a metal kid that got into hardcore, and I remember thinking, am I still allowed to like Iron Maiden and Judas? I don't think I am because and I had sort of a mullet hair when I started going to shows, and then at one point I met you and Greg Delaria, Mark Johnson.
Greg,
and,
the best dude.
yeah, definitely. And I was like, oh, I guess it's this metal guys come to these shows too. That's cool. And then Mark Johnson showed up and started putting those shows on. And I feel like he's sort of like an unheralded hero of like the music scene.
He is, man, because dude, he brought Sam Hain.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
Sam Hain, Doctor. It's so many fucking shows. Like, and that's the thing. Like, look, Executioner were kind of corny,
right? Yeah.
But he was a great guy.
Yeah,
and he busted his fucking ass.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
they did that Fang show, and
dude. I mean,
so many
there was like a
shows.
3-year run. Like every show at Hainham Hall was Mark Johnson, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like him and Gitter doing the TT's shows, and
well, so. Mark never did TT's.
Right.
Mark was all Hainham.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Gitter did.
I mean, Gitter did the Rat too. I mean, fucking.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Those guys both got a ton of shit, but everybody talks shit. It's like, well, what did you do?
Right.
Yeah,
No, definitely.
You went to the shows that they busted ass.
Yeah, I
to
remember
set
that.
Up, so fuck off, dude.
Yeah, people would give Gitter a lot of shit because for whatever reason, but he was a promotional guy, and good for him. He fucking. I got to see
how many people would be sitting on those steps in front of Planet Records reading Triple X talking shit about fucking Mike.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, man.
He could be the biggest dick in the world, but I got to see all these fucking bands because of him.
Man.
You know. But so you had a band, the Wrecking Crew, that you started at one point.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Well, Ralph was my best friend.
Yeah.
We were there were like they were a few years older than us. There was that band Sorry.
Yeah.
We're from Brookline.
Yeah.
But they weren't people we hung out with.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, me and Ralph used to joke because I was the Irish guy and he was the Italian guy.
Yeah.
He's like, are we the only people who aren't rich in Brookline? Besides like the Irish kids in Whiskey Point who all work for the town and fucking hate us.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we might be.
Yeah.
And I honestly really don't know how we first met, but like, yeah, dude, like, that kid was my fucking best friend, and like we did everything together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he turned me on to a lot of stuff, and I turned him on to a lot of stuff, and it was just, man, he was my best friend, and we'd daydream, like, you know, like, I'm always trying to like cover my ass or qualify, like, oh, it was corny, but. It was corny, but it was from the bottom of my heart. Like it was like that cliche thing, you know, when you got 14-year-old kids, and we would dip out, you know, we'd hop on the train and we'd go down to Kenmore. And you know, that was before like that's when people actually hung out. It wasn't like Facebook or you know, chat rooms or message boards or forums. Like you had to go out, and the beautiful thing was, it was like if you just go down there, like there was like Kenmore, there was Copley, there was Harvard Square.
Yeah.
And if there was nobody there, give it 15 minutes, give it a half an hour, because somebody you might not like them,
Right.
but there'd be somebody showing up, and it's like, you know, and then you do the rounds of all the record stores.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was the thing. It was like, dude, just like sitting around and just like talking. And it was complete like dreaming, but like it was shit that we wanted.
Yeah.
It was like, man, so I'm gonna get a tattoo. Yeah, dude, I want to get a tattoo too. Man, dude, I just want to get a Les Paul. He's like, yeah, I want to get a BC Rich. Really? What kind? I want to get a Warlock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get a Les Paul. You get a Warlock. We should get a band. Yeah. Fucking, we could totally be like, man, we could get a band. We could play with GBH. Yeah, we could totally play with GBH, man. And fucking, but then it's like 4 years later, where he's got a Les Paul, I got a Warlock, and we play with GBH. So you can't. That. Man,
yeah.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah. That was. And I put you guys up with all the Boston hardcore bands. I think.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Like, we really, 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 really tried our best. We did, and then it fucking fell down in ruins because it was our fault.
Yeah.
Like we did. The band didn't turn into rock stars. Like we weren't at the level of what our egos became, and it you know, and I'm not throwing Ralph under a bus at all, because he'll say the same shit, and I'm far more to blame than he or anybody else. Like we just it sucked, because we should have been able to call it a day and had a good run, and instead we got real bitter, and we just started chasing our own tail, and like we saw all our friends' bands getting bigger, and Sick of It All are big, so we have to write Sick of It All songs. It's like, cool. Right. Then we play with Biohazard, and that was the only time that we ever got blown away. Yeah. You can talk all the shit you want about Biohazard.
At that time, they were
when the first 2 years of that band, fucking untouchable, and we got smoked. Yeah. And then we came back from that show in Brooklyn, and all of a sudden, you know, Keith went to the gym and got a pit bull and started fucking wearing a ski hat in fucking August and going, yo, motherfucker. And we stopped being Wrecking Crew, and we became like Biohazard, fucking like Walmart Biohazard, and it just fucking sucked. And, you know, when we got Nathan, we should have changed our name. Yeah. And it, you know, but you know what? Yada yada, all said and done. When it was good. Yeah, I'm really proud of it, because older Boston hardcore guys that we really looked up to, did not like what we did. Yeah. But the thing is, we didn't do it on purpose. Like, we were going to do the sound because maybe it didn't come through with our music. Right. But a lot of the old school Boston guys didn't like us because they thought that we, quote unquote, brought New York to Boston.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I always thought you guys that thing kind of disappeared with you guys.
And that's the thing. And it wasn't like this conscious thing. It was like, look, man, we loved SSD, and we loved Jerry's Kids, and we loved DYS, and we loved the FUs. We loved the Chromax Agnostic Front just as much. We also loved Discharge and Broken Bones, and they exploited just as much. Yeah, right. So we also loved Warfare, Tank, and Motorhead. Right. So, you know, what the fuck do you want, man? You know, it's like, it wasn't. So as people's like, oh, they brought New York. It's like, no, we did exactly what you did. You played what you wanted to do because nobody else was doing it. It was the same thing with us. Yeah. You know,
like, I think Boston was bringing DC to those early bands.
Nobody says shit about that, man.
Yeah, and I think that's around the time when AF and the Cro-Mags, those bands were fucking awesome. And
so, it was like, look, you know, we got into some territorial shit. Like, our beef was with Connecticut. Like, the guys that made us possible, their beef was with New York. Our beef was Connecticut. You know what I mean? So. Right. It goes on and on and on and on. But you know, for whatever it's worth, we were playing from our fucking heart.
Yeah. And then you got so after Wrecking Crew, you didn't play music for a little while, right? Did you?
Well, no. I immediately jumped into two things.
You played with Mung, right? Briefly.
Oh, dude, briefly. I'm still a new guy in Mung. I was in Mung for 15 years. I've been in Mung longer than any other fucking band. But when Wrecking Crew broke up, the first thing they were pretty much back to back. They were like a month apart. First thing I did was I played in this like, looking back, it was really fucking badass, cool, like hard rock band, like Circus of Power, Junkyard,
nice
kind of shit. It was called Bad Mother Seed.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I was so insecure and uptight. I didn't enjoy it as much as I could.
Yeah.
Because I honestly like kept it on the down low from like my friends like in the hardcore scene.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of jamming.
Yeah.
Because I was insecure and I was embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want to tell him. I was like, I'm playing rock and roll. I was like, oh, you mean the guy with hair down to his ass who looks like he's in Circus of Power is playing in a band that sounds like Circus of Power?
Right.
Shocked.
I know.
But it was a really good band. Then a couple of months after that thing was going, was Bitter. Which
I remember that.
Yeah, which was Rich from Wargasm, Chris from Slapshot, and John from Head Cleaner.
Okay.
And that was my first time, first and only time I ever just sang. Like I was a frontman, did an instrument.
Right.
The thing with that band, here's a running theme with me. Insecurity was that that was the height of my like tough guy fantasy shit. Like I was completely absorbed with
I remember that.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
I mean, really, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what's up, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you've been living on Mission Hill for 3 months. Gangsta.
Right.
It was, it's embarrassing now because the thing is, the music in that band, fucking so good, good. I just, every time I try and give that another spin, I'm like, whoa, well, maybe I was too hard on myself.
Right.
No, it's like, I hear that and I fucking cringe because it's like, that's not who I am. That wasn't even who I was then. It was just like, it's so fucking phony.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing as shit, man. Yeah.
And do you want to talk you were talking about when you met Lemmy, you said he asked you if you had believed that stuff. So you had a phase with.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I mean, I own it. It's nobody's fault but mine. Was that I spent fucking 15 years beating up Nazis,
right?
Then became a Nazi. What kind of cunt? What kind of cunt does that? You know?
No,
I was just really fucking hateful.
Yeah,
really, really hateful. Then on top of that, you want to hear some really fucking stupid shit?
Sure.
I honestly thought, like, I was hateful. Like, that was real.
Yeah.
Like, just, I had a bunch of personal shit go down.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm not blaming black metal.
Right.
But this is just tell you what's going on.
Right.
In this phase was the rock bottom, hate the world part of my life.
Yeah.
Also getting into black metal.
Mm-hmm.
While I was getting into black metal was getting into heathenism, getting into Norse, Viking. At the same time, there was a point where black metal, where the catalysts of black metal were like, you know what? Being satanic isn't enough. How much more evil can I be?
Right.
Ooh, swastika.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of was really like, I don't know if it was perfect timing or awful timing.
Right.
Where it's like all these bands I was doing was like, this is my thing. That this thing that is my brand new thing also just got real fucking Nazi.
Right. Yeah.
While I'm wide open to want to be a Nazi.
Yeah.
Happened. Then this is how I was already stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I got even stupider, where I thought I was better than your standard Nazi, your standard white power guy. Because my thing was like, I don't want anything to do with these rednecks in the Klan, and these mouth breathing Joe Dirt redneck motherfuckers. Like, you know what? My thing is about uplifting the Aryan man.
Right.
And honestly, my whole thing was like, I'm not racist.
Right.
And I honestly believed that I was.
Right.
Like, I was like, I'm not racist. I'm against the Holocaust. But here's the fucked up thing. My problem with the Holocaust wasn't the fact that they were killing Jews. My problem was that it fucked up Hitler's great track record. Right. I'm like, you distracted yourself with these scumbag Jews where you could have been kicking ass.
Right.
How?
Yeah,
fuck me, dude.
Right.
You know? But I really, like, I got into it, and it was like, then, like, it was really parallel with, like, the rise of, like, the NSBM scene. And I was like knee deep in that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful that, like, a lot of people, like, nobody I mean, I did lose friends. I could have lost a lot more, and I'm really grateful for the people that I didn't lose. I think a lot of people were just looking. I was like, Keith's kind of full of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So he's gonna get out of this. He's just going through some shit. A lot of people who could have turned their back on me never did. A lot of people who could have kicked the fuck out of me.
Right.
Like for real.
Yeah,
yeah. I've heard
mm-hmm.
after the fact that I had been discussed. Like I was like, lined up like, dude, gotta teach him a lesson. And
right.
people like stood up and were like, no, he's my boy. And
right.
That's huge.
Yeah, I think people that know you and people from Boston that have known you for as long as know
which
that you're...
which I just want people to know that I wasn't flaunting a get out of jail free card. I was too stupid.
Yeah.
It wasn't some arrogant thing like, oh, you can't touch me, I'm cool with this guy. It wasn't. It wasn't. But it just I just finally like, and I'm glad, like I realized like I was at a point where like there were two things. I could go deeper and do like real serious shit,
mm-hmm. or
kind of wake up. And it wasn't being scared like, oh, I'm still a Nazi, but I don't want to do this. It was more like, this isn't me.
Right. Yeah.
And the whole time that I was in this shit, like I'm working at clubs and I'm playing music. If you have a problem with blacks, gays, and Jews, you might not want to work in the nightclub industry. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
And a friend of mine, the final straw, like what broke it down was at my old place at Rug Road,
mm-hmm.
hanging out and kind of spouting my stuff off. And this friend of mine was like, listen, man, let me ask you something. What? You're talking about like, like the day of the rope, like, with the day when it comes,
right?
It's time, and you're ready for that. And you're like, you got get your Totenkopf tattoo and you worship the SS. And
right.
Yeah, that's right. What?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you want this to happen? Goddamn right I do. Okay. When it happens, do you think you're going to be able to pick and choose who doesn't get killed? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, okay. And he was just naming
people you know.
And it wasn't just people I know. That's how fucking stupid I was. Like it was people that I loved.
Right.
But I was so stupid, and I had this Jekyll and Hyde thing going. It's like, okay, I would work down on Lansdowne.
Right.
And I mean, I'm with drag queens and you know what I mean? Like, like any all walks of life.
Yeah.
And I would take a bullet for any one of those fucking people. Next day, I got the day off. I'm sitting at home listening to Bound for Glory.
Right.
And not thinking anything's fucked up.
Yeah.
This guy broke it down. He's like, so, and I'm not going to name people,
right?
But like, it's like, okay, this girl, this guy, do you really think that you're going to have that much pull in your Fourth Reich that you go, oh, whoa, no. Right. She's okay.
Right.
He's okay.
Yeah.
They're okay. It was like, Keith, do you understand that what you are actively trying to accomplish, all these people are going to be killed. He's like, also, motherfucker, look at your bookshelf.
Right.
Look at your record collection. Look at all his stuff. Okay. No blacks, no Jews, no gays, no fringe thinkers.
Right.
No fuck. I don't know.
No
but
Chuck Berry, no Motorhead.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like all this shit. It was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And it woke up. It was
woke
like, and I'm not trying to cover my ass like in some badass way, like, whoa. But bottom line also too is like, why would I be selective? Where it's like, I don't like I really don't have a great view of the human race. Right. But I try to be I try to be a kind person.
Yeah.
I would rather be happy.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be good to people. I'm not like trying to run. Like I'm not trying to get into heaven or something stupid like that. I would just rather, life's too short, and I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to be a cunt. I just want to have a good life, and I want everybody else to have a good life too. And I'm like, I'm really fucking sorry. I'm really sorry. And the thing is, it's the biggest shame of my life, and I gotta own it. and it's gonna, no matter what I say, like this, like no matter what I do,
Right.
the rest of my life, there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, that Nazi,
Right.
and it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's not theirs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the important people, the people that'll stick by you and
Well,
are always going to be here.
I'm really grateful that they did, because they had more than enough ammo
Yeah.
to, like,
Yeah. No, I know. But I think,
let alone not, like, kick my fucking head in.
but I think just people know how you are as a person deep
Yeah.
down, and I think that's why you're still here, and you still have
Oh.
a good amount of friends that are.
Well, I tell you, it's a special time.
So we talked a second about PanzerBastard.
Yeah.
So that's your current band that you've been in for a little while now.
Fuck yeah, man. We're going on 12 years, man.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
And you guys have any stuff coming out now, or shows coming up, or anything like that? Or?
Right now, we've just from my point of view, like the last 2 years have been really frustrating, because it's the best lineup we've ever had.
Yeah.
But we've been at a standstill.
Yeah.
For writing and practicing on the regular, and it's we've lost a bit of momentum, but I'm not packing it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the game plan for this year is to find a new label.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against Patak. Like Dan Harrington and Patak have been amazing to us, but like we've had, and it's not his fault. Like I don't know how the music game goes anymore.
Yeah, at this
I don't.
point.
Like,
yeah.
my template doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I just know that we need to have a higher. The type of music we play, the name of our band, what we sound like, what we sing about, all this shit. Like, you're never going to be Iron Maiden. I have no illusions of like we need to take it to that level.
Right.
But we could be doing a lot more.
Yeah.
We could be doing a lot more. Some of it is just the nature of how things work.
Right.
Some of it is laziness. Some of it is fucking people being stupid.
Right. Yeah.
You know. So, but the thing is, I'm almost 50. I don't have another fucking band in me.
Yeah.
And even if I was 22, I've loved every single band I've been in. I've given 300% to every band. But PanzerBastard is my heart and soul.
Oh yeah.
And we're not, honestly, I don't see us break. If we break up, the only thing that's going to happen is there's going to be three things. People who fucking hate us will go, good, I told you so.
Yeah.
People who like us will miss us, and the people in the band will wish that we were still playing.
Right.
You know, like we would want to.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not. You
Right.
know, I've probably got maybe 3 to 5 years left.
Yeah.
Of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep. I mean, why not? What am I gonna do? Go to law school?
Right.
Yeah.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
And you haven't gone back with. Well, you did a couple Wrecking Crew shows.
Yeah.
over the
Yeah. I mean,
years.
we did. Yeah. We're all cool. Never had a falling out with Nathan, but we just lost touch.
Yeah.
And you know, once again, the thing is, like, no disrespect to Nathan, but those songs are fucking great. Like that,
yeah.
like the Nathan period of Wrecking Crew is absolutely fucking legit.
I always thought it was a different band.
We should nothing. It not his fault, man. Like he walked into like a pathetic soap opera of fragile egos and neurosis,
Yeah.
and we ended up still had like tangible things
Yeah.
to show for it. We should have changed the name. Wrecking Crew. We're thank fuck we're all still friends. Like we're actually better friends now. We hated each other.
Yeah.
Like every given week there would be these weird little like offshoots. Like 3 guys would hate the 2 guys.
Right.
4 guys would hate the 1 guy.
Right. Yeah,
you know, it was fucking insanity. Like it was the epitome of dysfunction. But like now in our golden years or whatever, like we all like we love each other and everybody's happy and doing good.
Yeah.
You know, and we had a couple reunion shows and they were great. They were fun. But the thing is like we're all very well aware. It's like we're grateful that like there are people who liked our band,
Yeah.
and we had a good run, but we have no harbor any illusion that we're on the same plateau as like Cro-Mag, Sheer Terror. Like, so for us to be like, oh, reunion, it'd be like, who?
Right. Well, I think in Boston people would be.
But you know what I mean? It's like when you see these bands, like, and it's not just hardcore, but like metal too. It's like these bands are like they weren't even an afterthought back when they were around, but now they're like, oh, there's a bunch of fucking idiot kids now. It's like, hey, we were from 1989. We're gonna validate this kid's fucking back patch. Fuck that. Like that's not like we had a good run. 99% of the world doesn't get what we got.
Right.
We should be grateful, and we're happy, and we are.
Let's talk about, you did a reunion show that was put together by a bunch of Boston hardcore people for victims of the Boston Marathon bombing. Yeah. And it was a great show, raised a lot of money, and then the money disappeared.
It didn't disappear. It went up somebody's fucking arm.
Right. So
his name is Mike Eleftheratos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what happened with that? This is
what
friend or?
Oh, he's not. Thought so.
Right.
Thought so.
Yeah.
So what happened was the day after the bombing.
Yeah.
Actually, back up.
Yeah.
Mike was the lead singer of a local black metal band called Noxerer. And I thought he was a really good friend of mine, and I'm not going to lie and say that, we were never friends. That kid was I considered him family.
Yeah.
He saw me through a couple of really bad, he saw me through the breakup of a long-term relationship. Like he was there for me for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I think I'm okay to hate him as much as I do right now because of the betrayal.
Yeah.
So he was booking, but he wasn't like, it was a huge booker. He would book like the metal and the black, mostly black metal shows, like O'Brien's, PA's Lounge, things like that.
Yeah.
Day after the marathon bombing, I just said, hey, listen, we should do something.
Yeah.
And I had no It wasn't, the intent wasn't out the gate what it became.
Right.
It steamrolled in the best way possible, which shows like just like how fucking badass Boston and Boston hardcore and metal is.
Definitely.
Originally this was going to be at O'Brien's, and it was going to be like this circle of like the metal and the metal punk bands and the black metal bands.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what? Let me just, I know 2-3 people. Do we run out?
No, it's moving. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm like, you know what? I know a couple of guys. Let me just see what could hurt. You know?
Yeah.
Because we had seen that there were like, and it wasn't like we were trying to compete, but it was like, well, look, this is really
Other
like
bands,
steamrolling.
Yeah.
So it seems like people are going to be open to this. I'm like, let me just ask people. It can't hurt, and because the idea was to maybe get one band that had no business playing O'Brien's,
right? So
we could like guarantee sell at O'Brien's and maybe do like $25 ticket,
right?
Then it became a thing. Like people heard through. Like I only reached out to Slapshot,
right?
Then it steamrolled.
Yeah.
Like people heard that, and then like the Converge guys reached out to me.
Right. Yeah.
It's actually like it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, and then it became what it was. Show couldn't have been better. That honestly was one of the top 5 Wrecking Crew shows that ever happened.
Yeah.
That real quick sidebar. It's not about that band.
Right.
It's about
it's
about a fucking cunt name, Mike Eleftheratos. This was months after the fact.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I really wish that Jake Bannon had come to me.
Yeah.
Not trying to my conscience is clean.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to cover my own ass, but it seemed a little virtue signaling. Virtue signaling. The way that I'm glad that it was brought to light, because if Jake hadn't done this,
right,
this motherfucker might even still be like in this world,
right,
and everybody thinking he's a good guy,
right,
and he would have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
But it comes up that, hey, the money isn't there. I've been doing my stuff.
Yeah.
And okay, all my little peccadillo about it aside, I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
Not gonna lie, I knew Mike did blow.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know he did heroin.
Right.
This is shit we found out after the fact.
Right.
Once it's almost like when the Charles Stewart case, when like one thing happened,
right.
all of a sudden like within 4 days you're like,
right.
what the fuck?
It's like a
exactly.
movie.
It was just this. Once there was this little chink in the armor, everything just went south, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So, long story long, this motherfucker just kept lying and lying and lying. Said he sent it Western Union. Well, where's the receipt?
Yeah.
Multiple people reached out to Western Union.
Right.
No record.
Yeah.
Well, where did you buy your money order from?
Right.
Oh, I from here. No. Well, everybody who has records, who have a vested interest in keeping records, have no record.
Right.
Then it was to the point where it's like, Mike, things are not looking good for you.
Right.
And I'm the only person keeping you alive. Like there were 2 times. One was on the phone.
Right.
And one was in person. I'll do the phone first.
Right.
And this was a month or 2 before the face-to-face. I was like, buddy, look, man, I got guys who know exactly where you live. They want to fucking, like, they're not going to beat you up. They're going to fucking kill you.
Right.
You understand, like, who you're fucking with.
Right.
I didn't. I'm like, well, then what the fuck is going on?
Right.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
You say this, you say this, you say this, and there's nothing.
Right.
You got to, and I'm like, well, Mike, you got to give me something.
Right.
You got to, he just goes off radar.
Right.
Then finally, this all went down within 3 days.
Yeah.
He was working at like some bagel coffee place, like right by Green Street, Orange Line stop. And not a mutual friend, because nobody was his friend at this point.
Right.
But by now, there was no hiding it. Like there's whatever it was, something wasn't right, and it was his fault, and he was still like kind of ducking it. And he had been under the radar. He had changed his phone number, like wasn't responding to anybody. And I was like, well, where is he? He was like, well, he dumped his girlfriend and moved. Nobody knew where he was.
Yeah.
Like there really weren't people keeping him safe.
Right.
He was doing the dodge him. Find out he's working here. Then the next day we find out, his job, like we told his job on a day that he wasn't working, this is what's up.
Right.
Find out that the job was through our conduit, was letting us know, was like, listen, do what you got to do. You can't do it in the store, but you'd be doing us a favor because we know he's stealing from it. He was stealing from this job
too. Right.
He was also doing fucking dope in the bathroom. So me and a few other guys. I'm only going to mention Jake Bannon because I brought him up earlier.
Right.
And Jake, if you ever hear this, Jake, you are a good guy. You're my friend. What I said earlier, that's real. That's how I felt. But the big picture is like we're all trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
A half dozen representatives from concerned citizenry came, and we had people at every front. We had people at every door.
Yeah.
We had people at every back exit. This guy wasn't going to fucking leave.
Right.
Walked in, and we had called ahead. The owners knew that we were coming in. He was serving somebody, looked up, and then just went in the back. He was he was hiding. Here, what a cool guy. He was hiding in a freezer.
Yeah.
He hid in a freezer for 20 minutes until the owner went in with a fucking knife.
Yeah.
Said, "You go. We know what you did. We also know that you're high right now. We know you steal. If you don't get out of here right now, you can either get this," and he tapped the knife on his chest, "or we're gonna call the fucking cops because we know you're holding."
Right.
You know, because you were in the bathroom for 10 minutes.
Right.
We know you're fucking holding. Look at your fucking eyes.
Right.
He came out. We sat him down, and like we honestly like. Not obviously there was the element of intimidation.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, we're sitting there, and the table's vibrating.
Yeah.
From his body, from
Yeah.
the fear. He couldn't look anybody in the eye.
Yeah.
When he would look up, his eyes were fucking pinned.
Yeah.
And here it is. This is why, like, after what I'm gonna say after I'm saying this,
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about.
Right.
I was like, Mike, I've called you brother, and I meant it, and I know that we have been friends. This is your last chance. And I'm not kidding. Like, to save your fucking life, you have to tell me the truth about what's going on with that fucking money. Here's the thing. We can make this right. We can make this right. Like, this doesn't have to go the way it's going to go. You have to tell me the truth. Right now. It's the last thing I'm going to say to you. What happened? Then he looks at me, eyes fucking pinned, doped out. I sent that check, and I was like, "Is that the last?" And I'm like, "Mike, God. I'm like, Mike, is that the last thing you're gonna fucking say about this?" He's like, "Yeah, Mike, I can't help you. We're done."
Yeah.
Having said that, we know. Okay, you know what? Before I say that, people talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
People talk a lot of fucking shit. You know what? You want to be a big man?
Right.
Google search is easy.
Yeah.
You're like, I would have done this. I would have done that. Really?
Yeah.
Guess what, asshole? Fucking do it. Because you want to know why? The guy's still alive.
Yeah.
You could have did it.
Yeah.
You know, you could do it right. How about that? You could do it right now. You're so up in arms. You can tap on a keyboard. You want go make the fucking drive, dude.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Fine. Having said that, I want to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And like I've sent him texts on multiple numbers. I've hit up his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I've made it known that because of what he's done, and use it for evidence, like whatever you want to do is like I want to do it. I want to kill him. It was like, Mike Alefterados, I want to fucking kill you. Yeah. You're a fucking cunt. You're a fucking traitor. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking junkie. And this isn't going to go away, Mike. And I hope somebody sends this to you, because as long as you fucking live until somebody finds you, as long as you fucking live, this isn't going to go away. What you did is rock fucking bottom. And someday, in some way, you're going to fucking pay for it. You're a fucking cunt, and you're a walking dead man. And I hope you live until we get you. I hope you live the rest of your life in fear. I hope you look over your fucking shoulder. I hope you fucking suffer. I hope it was fucking worth it. You're a fucking cunt, and I hate you. Yeah. And I wish you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. That's a huge fucking betrayal, and it's like, for friends, all these people,
for a friend. It's look, man, like I got a Boston tattoo, but like the Boston I got tattooed on my arm is long gone. Yeah. So it's not some like rah shit.
Right.
But like, dude, it's not just like fucking over a friend. You're just a fucking. You couldn't get any lower, man. Like, I mean, you could fuck an infant.
Right.
You know, but he probably did. You probably did. You fucking cunt. Michael Efterados, infant fucker, piece of shit. Hey, Paulina Behrman, how you doing? How's your boyfriend? How's that glamorous couple working out for you? You tied your boat to a fucking winner, you fucking slow-eyed cunt.
And this person is still in the New England area?
No. They're upstate New York, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope something can get resolved with this fucking thing because it is.
Oh,
Pretty,
yeah. I mean, there's one. There's one solution.
Yeah.
I was gonna say final solution, but I 15 minutes ago I was talking about I'm not a Nazi anymore. So
So I guess on that note, we should probably end this.
No, we gotta we gotta end on a high note. Okay?
Yeah.
Come on.
So music.
Music. Yeah. It's I find it very danceable. Hey, what do you call 100 lesbians with assault rifles? Militia Etheridge. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Cow with Alzheimer's.
Cow with Alzheimer's. Who?
Who are you?
Yeah, I mean this podcast is about people that are like passionate about music and whatever the fuck they're into, and so when I made the list of people I wanted to interview at the beginning of when I came up with the idea for this, you were at the top definitely because
shucks,
you definitely embody that with just as long as I've known you, you've always been a pretty intense dude, and fucking,
thanks, Jolt.
I'm glad we were able to.
It's like Jolt, and it was like, well, if they stopped making Jolt, so we started doing coke. So okay.
And I hope you don't change, man, because I think you're.
It's a little late, man, Chris. I could, one of the few things I can say with pure conviction is, I'm gonna be this.
Yeah, and I think that's why people are always gonna love you, man.
I like to be loved.
Yeah,
I love you.
Man. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for letting me come.
Awesome.
Motherfucker.
Thank you.